Well, what's up, family? It's your boy, it's your preacher, it's your favorite nephew, it's your uncle, it's Jaheim, president here for Legacy Builders Podcast. Woo! We're here for another episode here in season 2. And first of all, I want to thank you all for your continued support over this podcast, your continued support over everything that we are doing here at Legacy Builders Podcast. So for those who have shared, for those who have shared with coworkers, continue with family members, continue. Those who have followed us on YouTube at Jaheim President TV, those who have connected to me via social media. This time I'm gonna ask, what do y'all want to hear in this next upcoming season? As we talked about what's love, we're going to be talking about what's love got to do with it. But this is season 2 of Legacy Builders Podcast, and our mission here is just to empower you to talk life, speak life into you, and just to help you on your journey, on this journey called life. Nobody wants to do life alone. Last week we talked about the builders are coming, talking about the importance of partnership, the importance of building meaningful relationships, where you can grow, where you can establish yourself, and then also people can help you become the best person you can meant to be. Because can I tell you this again, that in this life we're meant to have partnerships. You're not the dream. You're the visionary of the dream, but your dream is going to need people to help you, different partnerships. You don't know who may come down later in life that can help you succeed and where you're going. So we talked about that, but the main theme of this season 2, is blueprints. We talked about blueprint. We talked about different triggers. And today I just want to talk about what's the point of it all. Many of us, I don't know, sometimes I catch myself asking, Jaheim, what's the point of this all? What is the point of it all? Like, honestly, at the end of last year, I was really just self-reflecting. I really was just preparing myself for this year, preparing myself to attack my goals, preparing myself to evolve in a different way. And like I said, in one of the episodes, putting my words into action. So many times we've done so much lip service to where we've gotten so lost with our lip serving, trying to keep up with this, keep up with that, that we have forgotten what's the real point of it all. And I'm reminded of an Anthony Hamilton song, "Point of It All." I can't sing. One day I will hope to sing. But sometimes you ask yourself that question. I mean, I constantly ask myself, what's the point of the season I'm in? What's the point of where I'm at in life, financially, socially? I ask myself that realistic question, like, what's the point of it all? What's the end goal or the end game? If you ever watch, what is the end game? And sometimes we don't have a clear target of what our end game is going to be. Sometimes we are trying to be good at everything that we're not even masters of nothing. So we try to add on so much different things, so much added on stress, so much added on people that I would venture to say sometimes we miss the whole point of it all. We miss the whole reason why we're doing this. We miss the whole reason why we're trying to see. We're trying. We have the original blueprint, and we're adding so much stuff on our lives that we forget what's the real point. Like, why did we start in the first place? And I'm reminded of, you cannot lose your why. I made a post on Sensei P Wisdom. Follow us on Instagram at Sensei P Wisdom, one of our daily wisdom. And I was like, life get cruel, but the most cruel thing you can do is lose your why. And I think many of us, we get so bunctious, we get so lost in what is going on around and the environment that's going on around us that we sometimes lose our why. We sometimes lose the point of it all. We lose. I remember there have been times in my life where I've just been helping out other people. I've been trying to impress other people, and trying to portray a persona over myself that I really didn't, I wasn't ready for it, and I really didn't have it. And so I'm trying to, as the old folks say, keep up with the Joneses, so much of the fact that when I'm keeping up with the Joneses, I'm losing myself. When I'm keeping up with the Joneses, I'm no longer producing, and I lost my why. And can I tell you this? That is a dangerous place to be when you have lost your why. Oh yes, it is. That is because you end up losing yourself. And when you start losing yourself, you start picking up old habits, and you start diminishing what could be something great because you're frustrated. And in our frustration, we have lost there's a season of my life where it's during the pandemic. Of course, everyone was going through our own, our own thing during the pandemic. But during the pandemic, and even the year after, like the year after pandemic, like I completely lost my why. I was in a relationship. I was so and so trying to keep up with the Joneses. I was so and so trying to make other people happy, that I lost what was making me happy. I lost that sense of go get. I lost that sense of who Jaheim was and what was my main purpose, And I feel like I'm now getting back to the place where I need to be. I'm not all the way there, but because I've taken the necessary steps, and then I've remembered why I got started. Many a times it is okay to reset in life. It's okay to re-examine, reflect. I think the reason why a lot of us are so lost, so down in the dumps, is because many of us have forgotten our why, and many of us have not taken that time to reflect, that time to self-reflect, that time to, okay, Jaheim, okay, where am I at? Like, where did I lose myself? When did I lose myself? Why did I lose myself? And why did I lose my why? Because one of the greatest things you have in life, and I really do believe this, is your why. I think your why is so important because it shapes your blueprint, and your blueprint shapes your habits. Your habits chase your consistency, and then your consistency discipline, and from your discipline, there's your actions. So there it is, your why, and your why create habits. And then from your habits, you have consistency. And then from your consistency, you have discipline. And then from discipline, you have your action. Those are the fives, the great fives. Your why, your habits, your consistency, your discipline, and your action. They all intertwine. And I had to realize that it all intertwine. I had to realize that everything, those things, because you can't have one without the other. You cannot build consistency if you have bad habits. You're going to be consistent in something, but you ain't going to be consistent in what you want to be in. And so I want you to take this week, as we are, January is soon to close, but I really want you to take this week and really reflect on what's your why. And from when you reflect what's your why, how can your why help you build habits? And then, go down the chain, because it makes no sense to continue to keep going and going, and you're in a rat race. I tell people all the time, I don't want to be in no rat race. I want to control the flow. I want to control where I'm going. I want to control the things and the places and the people in the environment. I mean, you may not control everything, but you have to be able to control how you feel about in certain things, in certain environments, in certain places, in certain this. You have to control that. So why keep going back to a place where it's draining you? Why keep going back to a environment? Why keep going back to a situation? Why keep going back into entanglement? Why keep going back into a job? Da, 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 da. If it's draining you from your why, if it's draining you from being focused on the things you need to focus on and on the things I said in our Saturday's declaration, and I hope you follow us, follow me on Instagram at Call Me Prayers, and then on TikTok at Jaheim President, because I do every Saturday. I do declarations, and this Saturday I said kill all the distractions. I remember talking to my friend Michaela about I'm killing all the distractions in my life. May that be people, may that be places, may that be things. I'm honestly, I've been so laser focused these first 2 weeks. I've gone 14 days straight in the gym. Hallelujah. 14 days. And I see the small changes. I see it. But I'm not getting so lost in the results that I stop, because I know my why. I know in order for me to be able to do this podcast, for me to be able to do everything I teach, I have to have a clear mind. And I told one of my coworkers, this, like, from October to December, I had a real fog over me. Like, when your mind just get foggy, when you're like, just like, whoa, what am I doing? Like, what's going on? I was there. Like, and that's such a strange and scary place to be, because you're so entwined with a lot of stuff that you sit and you be like, oh my God. Like, I during Christmas this year, my holiday break from that job, like, I slept, because I knew I was kind of recovering, but I knew that fog was still there. And that fog comes from a lot of different stuff, but I knew that I first had to stop in my tracks, okay? Stop in my tracks. I can't continue to go. I can't continue to try to act like nothing's wrong. No. First, I have to stop and reflect. We're talking right? Stop and reflect. And then at the start of the year, actually watch night service. I went to watch night service. At watch night service, and I began telling my friends, closest friends, something new is going to happen out of my life. And I started to declare, but then like I said in the episode before, I had to put actions to my words. Then I had to realize that I need help. And then I had to realize this week alone, I've been remembering my why. Why did I start this podcast? Why did I do Saturday's declarations? Why do I do stuff on TikTok? Why am I a teacher? Okay. Why am I always smiling? Why? I started to, I'm going to get me a better stand. I started to remember my why and how important I'm meant to be and how important this next stage of my life is going to be. So I can't keep, and that's what cycles are. Cycles are continuing to do something and expecting a different result. Continuing to let yourself go down and continue to let yourself not be fulfilled of where you're going. See, the difference between a lot of stuff we do in life, the difference between the people who are accomplishing goals is because they remember their why. And then here's the fact. They're not so much results driven, but they're they know the value of progress and checkouts. And so this year I changed my mindset from I want results, results. Of course, I want to lose. My goal is to lose 100 pounds by December, whatever. So of course I'm like, oh, I'm looking, but I'm not looking at the results yet because I know if I do the necessary steps, I'm going to get the results. So if I remember my why, here it is, it all connects. If I remember my why and I remember why I'm doing stuff, then I won't get lost in the results or get lost in what's going on around me because I know why I'm doing this. I know why I'm trying to lose weight. I know why I'm doing this podcast. I know why because I know my why. So I don't let outside influence or outside craziness or chaos confuse me and stop and hinder me from where I'm going in life. Could it be that the chaos has distracted you long enough? That the relationship, that the friendship, that family members, that the job, has it distracted you long enough? Can you honestly answer that question? Can you honestly have that discussion with you? I had to tell myself, okay, hold up. Whoa, I'm letting outside influence, outside chaos that I have no control. And here it is. We have to be honest with ourselves. Some situations we don't have no control. No matter how you spin it, no matter how you do this, no matter how you do that, you have no control of it. None. So instead of trying to, many of us, that's what it is. We think our why is to control it. No. Sometimes our why doesn't even have nothing to do with the chaos. It's just a lesson. And sometimes chaos comes to see how committed are you to your why. Uh-oh. My, how committed are you to accomplishing this goal? How committed are you to doing this? How committed are you to go after everything that you are meant to have and meant to possess? Stop getting lost in the sauce. I know that's corny, but stop using that. Stop using that as an excuse to quit. Because you got lost and now you got to reflect. Now you got to restart. Now you think, oh, no, maybe it's not for me. Maybe the business is not for me. Maybe this, no. It is for you, but you can't do it that way. Oh, my. You cannot do it that way. And sometimes that's what the chaos is telling us. Okay, whoa. Maybe it's not going to work this way. Or maybe, okay, or I got to strengthen you because the way you're going to need more strength than you have. You need more wisdom. You're going to need more connections. You're going to need more of this. You have to, and I talked about this, about the episode, you got to see where life is pivoting you and you got to accept the pivot and you got to go with it. And you got to have your why so intact that when chaos comes your way, you won't waver. You won't waver. You're not going to waver this time. No. You're not going to give up this time. You're not going to stop this time because this time you're going at it in a different angle and you're going at it in a different way. Yes, you are. You're not going to give up. You're not going to stop. You may pivot, but you're not going to give up because you know inside yourself your why. Your purpose. You know that the blueprint that you have is so necessary for right now and to come. It's so necessary. It's so vital into where you're going at in life that you won't let nothing hinder you from getting to the next step. No, you won't. You won't let nothing hinder you from getting to where you're meant to be and where you know you're going. Yeah. I want to say that over you right now. Like, I want to remind you, and that's why I do these podcasts on Sunday, so when we're going through the week, like we have a little push for the week, and then sometimes people replay it in the middle of the week because some people listen to it at the end of the week to say, okay, everything I went through the week matters. No matter where you listen to this, you might be listening to this 20 years or 10 years down the line, but I want you to know your why, and I want you to know how important your why is, and I want you to know how necessary your why is. I think I'm gonna say this all the time. You're necessary. Like your very life is necessary. Your very being is necessary. What you have to offer is necessary. But we need to hold you, not half you. I remember saying that in season 1. We need to hold you, not half you. So what that means is you have to have a grip on some areas of your life. You got to have a grip on, and you got to start asking the question, what is the purpose of this? Got to start asking some friendships. What is the purpose? Some situationships, some relationships, some jobs. You have to ask that important question. What's the point of it all? Why am I trying so hard at this? Why am I trying so hard at that? Why am I trying? You have to know the reason. And once you know the reason, you can stay and weather any storm of your life. But you got to know the reason first. You got to know. I remember in elementary, I would always ask my teachers, and even in middle school, and I guess some of my students ask me this now, so I guess but I tell them, I used to ask, are we ever going to need this? Like, what's the whole point of this? Is this helping us build on a different skill that's to come? Because sometimes, thank you. Sometimes what's happening now is helping you build for what's to come. Here it is. You may have a setback in your blueprint. You may have a setback in the areas of your life, but you have to realize, somebody say realize that the area of the growth or the mindset of the place you're at right now it may not be for right now, it may be for later, but you still have to realize the point of it all. You still have to realize the reason, because if you can say, okay, I know why I'm going through this because it's going to help me later down in life, you'll look at life at a whole different perspective once you put in that time of what's the point of it all. I wish I could sing the song. I wish I had the lyrics. A Point of It All by Anthony Hamilton. And that's, he's talking about relationships, but it connects to every area of our lives. Because what is the point of it all? Honestly, what is the point of it all? Why the reason? What's the reason? So that I know and I won't waver. Here it is. I won't waver this time. Because I told you this, there have been seasons of my life where I did waver, where I did quit, where I looked at the even with this podcast, I looked at the numbers. I'm like, okay, what's the point of it all? Only a couple people listening, but maybe those couple people need that word of encouragement. Maybe a couple people need that. And so I had to look at it at a different angle. And here we are today. Once I looked at it at a different angle, once I looked at it at a different lighting, once I started to look at things and say, okay, that's why. Okay, that's why I'm going through so-and-so. That's why I met so-and-so. That's why this person left. That's why I'm at this job. That's why, because I'm building my blueprint, and I'm building it in a process so that I can successfully have foundation. Because if you don't have foundation in life, it's going to fall. And maybe you're in your foundation building season of your life. Maybe you're in a season and a place and a time where you have to build foundation. Because many of us, once again, your why is your foundation, because many of us want the great structure. We want the great this. We want to be great. We want to do this. We want to do that without foundation. And that's why you keep going back to square one, because you have no foundation in anything. How can you build it? You don't know who you are. How can you build it? You don't know how you will respond in certain situations. How can you lead other people if you haven't? No. I'm just saying. I'm old folks will say. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. So we have to realize our why, realize how important our why is, and then we have to go and be great. I say this, go be great. I'm not saying every moment will be great. I'm not saying every moment will be perfect, but you have to know what's inside of you so that you can build and continue to build. Stop waiting on people to affirm you when you have to know for yourself. Like, I know people look at me crazy. I remember somebody asked me this week, like, "Dog, Jaheim, you posting about that? You posting about your podcast, YouTube channel, every chance you get?" I said, "Yeah," because I'm in the foundation part of my life, and so when I'm ready to add more, then I'll be ready. But I gotta make sure the foundation is sturdy. The semen is hardened, so I know that I can build off this. So, because I tell you, my dream is to be a TED talker. Like, I really want to be a TED talker, but I have to go through the proper steps in life. I have to go through the proper channels in life to get there. They just ain't gonna put me up stage because I want to be there. Somebody ain't gonna just put you up there because you want to be. No. They gotta see what you're made of. They gotta see what's your why, and has your why been through the test of time. And once you see that, that's when the opportunities start opening up, people. That's when destiny starts finding purpose, and destinies meet together, because your why was intact from every area of your life. Every area of your life. So I want to encourage you, and I just want you to stay firm in your why, and know that this season that you're in, it's only gonna be for a moment. But in this moment, work on your why, and work on work on you. Sometimes you just need to love yourself before anybody can love you. I'm skipping ahead the season to next season when we talk about what's love got to do it. But yeah, just know that everything's gonna come into place because your why is intact. Know that everything's gonna be everything because you put in the proper steps in the proper place to get to your destiny. So that's all I have for you. Love you, family. Make sure you share this episode with a friend, with a family, with a coworker, or with somebody you think might have lost their why. They just need somebody to encourage them. So I want you to share. As you share, we build, and as we build, we go to higher heights. So I love you, family. I remember our goal is to get to 500 all-time listeners by March 2nd. I mean, we got a month or 2 so months to do it. Right now, we're at a good number. We're at, I think, 385 all-time listeners. So let's get over the hump so we can get to 500, and we can go to where we need to go in life. So I love you, family. It's your boy, Jaheim President, signing off for another episode of Legacy Builders Podcast. See y'all next week.